All right, lesson 20 is all about the word static. Lesson 20 is all about the word static. Okay? We can have static methods, which you've seen before every day in here with the main, right? The main is always static. But we can also have static variables. I don't think we've typed in the word static in front of a variable before. I don't think we have, but we will today, hopefully. Okay. Over in the student class, let's make a static method. Public static, let's call it compute GPA. It'll return a double, right? Your GPA is a double usually. Public static double compute GPA. Now, how do you find your GPA? Well, on the board is an example of a student's GPA. If a student has 2 A's, 2 B's, and a C, what would be their GPA for that semester? Well, A's are worth 4 points, B's are worth 3 points, and a C is worth 2 points. And if all the classes are equal weight, like probably all your classes are worth 5, what's called credit hours, probably they are. In college, they're different. In high school, it's a little simpler. If they're all the equal weight, you can just divide by 5. So we have 5 grades, and we have how many points, how many credit points? 8, 6, 14, 16. Is that right? 16? And so 16 divided by 5 gives us a 3.2 GPA. That's how GPA is found. So when that UC looks at your transcript and computes your GPA, that's how they'll do it, more or less. They might not count some classes and count some classes more than others. Like they might give you a 5 for your A- in AP Comp Sci, and they might not count maybe, I don't know, some elective or some, I don't know what kind of classes, but some may not count at all. Okay? But that's how you do it. So our compute GPA method needs to get credit points, and it needs to get num classes. Let's make both of those ints. And so it's just going to return the quotient of credit points divided by num classes. Now, if I do it like that, I'll have the int 16 over the int 5, which is 3. So the student's getting cheated out of the 0.2. So make one of your numbers, either the numerator or denominator, a double. Okay, mine compiles fine. Now, how do you use that method? Well, up to now, when you're writing methods that have been non-static, here's what you would have done. You with me? Up to now, we would say student S1 equals new student, and then something like out.println S1.compute GPA and give it 16 and 5. And that does work still, even though it's static. I'm in the wrong class. Where am I at? There's my 3.2. It still works that way. Whether it's static or not, I can take off static because we've never used it before, have we? In any class methods? Only tester methods. I can take off static and it still works. So what does static do for us? I'm going to put static back where it was, public static double compute GPA. Well, think of all the math methods we've used. When we out.println math.square root of 5, are we making a math object? No, right? Not even an anonymous math object. There's no math M1 equals new math. We're just calling that method square root in the math class. We can do it that way with all the math methods because they're all static. So I can get rid of my student object here. I don't need it. And just say capital S student dot compute GPA, and it'll work without me having the overhead, the extra code of a student object.